Hello guys, my name is Yashashri and today we are going to discuss about event emitters. This question is very frequently asked in Node.js interviews. So basically what we'll start with is called as event. If you remember, event is basically a specific action occurred when the user interacts with your system or any sort of an event or an action on which a particular function is executed, right? So in our front end days or something, you would have remembered, like, we have an event called click event, right? In our front end code, or when we are attaching listeners to user clicking on a button or clicking on any element, a particular click event is emitted, right? A click event is emitted, and based on that we attach a callback or a function to it, and that function executes whenever the user clicks on something. Same idea is also available in Node.js. Node.js, remember, is an event-driven architecture, right? It has an event-driven architecture. So every, or more or less the majority of the NPM packages or the different modules that you use, inbuilt modules that are already present in Node.js, makes use of event emitters class. Okay. So event emitters are a class or an object which we create from that class, which basically allows us to emit or trigger different events. And based on that events, we just have different functions which executes on that particular event whenever that particular event occurs. So event emitters allows us developers to actually have our own custom event also. That is one of the greatest benefits, right? So let's just look over what event emitters are through code, and then we'll try to implement one of the very basic example to get the idea even more stronger. Okay, so we have one particular script.js ready here. So what I'll do, I'll say const, let's say event, right? Or let's say we have to first import it, right? So what we'll do, I'm require that particular module, right? That event emitter class, right? Event emitter class is from event module itself, right? So I'll say events. Then on that events, we have a lot of functions or classes also. And one of them is event emitter, right? So either we can use this or we can use some destructuring, right? Right. So what we can do now is either we can use this way, or the better approach, which I find, is just restructure it, right? So from here, we have event emitter. So we are importing an event emitter class, right? So event emitter class is imported. Now that we have imported our event emitter class, next step is to create an object out of it. In order to create an object, what we do, we just say const let or whatever it is, give it a name. Let's say my emitter is equal to new event emitter. This will create a new object or a new instance of a event emitter class, right? Now, when this is done, what we can do, we can attach multiple event listeners on it. The way to add listeners to a particular event, or through this, using this event emitter class, what we can do, we can say my emitter, which is our instance's name, dot, either we can use add event listener, which works as the same way as we have seen in our front end JavaScript class, or we can also use on. This is for registering the events, right? So the very basic is on. And here, the first argument is the event name. That event name, you can provide it as a string, and that event can be, or that event name can be anything, whatever you want. So let's say my event name is test. Okay. So I am saying ki when this particular test event is occurring, okay, whenever this particular test event occurs or gets triggered, I want to execute a callback function or any other function which I can register just by passing the second parameter here. So either you can provide an anonymous function, or what we can do, let's say we have a simple function here. Let's say handle test. This will just do a console log of handling test event. Fine. Here we just need to pass the reference of that function. So that will be handle test. You could do the same thing. If you have an anonymous function, you can just pass in like this, anonymous function or anonymous arrow function, whatever it may be, right? The second parameter will be a function. So based on that event name, this particular test, whenever this test event is triggered, right, this function handle test will be called, simply put, right? So if I run this right now, you'll see nothing happening right now. We'll see what we are missing right now. If I say node script.js, it executes, but it doesn't do anything, right? So what we have just done is just attach the event listener on a particular event, right? What we can do now is I can say my emitter dot trigger or emit, my bad. You say whatever that emitter class or emitter instance is, you say my emitter or emitter instance dot emit. Okay. This is what we are saying here in line number 12, that, you know, trigger this particular event or throw this particular event, right? And the moment that particular event is called or triggered, every function which has been attached or has been listening to that particular event gets called. So let's say we have our event name test, right? So I'll be emitting or I'll be triggering a test event, right? Based on that event names, it matches all the listeners and calls all the listeners. Okay. So now if we call node script.js, you'll see handling test event, right? Let's say if you attach multiple listeners to it, right? On the same event, let's say I have another anonymous function this time. Okay. And this will say console.log multiple handlers possible, right? If I run this code now, you'll see both of them being called, right? So I just emitted one event or I just triggered one event, and based on that, different handling functions executed, right? So these, by using on event, or sorry, by using on function, we are registering different functions whenever that particular event is called, right? So let's say if I change this particular event name, let's say this particular event name is, let's say, null event, right? Any event name can work, right? Now what will happen now, since I'm emitting only the test event, right? So this function will not be called because we have not emitted this particular event, correct? So since we are only emitting test event, only handle test function will be getting executed. And that is the case, right? So this is what in basic event emitter allows you to do, right? Now this is a very basic example, of course, right? But there are many different approaches or many function applications for this particular class. Okay, we'll be seeing that as an example in a little while, right? So we saw how we attach events or attach event listeners to a particular event. You can use the on function or you can use the add event listener function, which works exactly like our front-end JavaScript code where we had document.add event listener, right? Okay. So this was attaching event, right? What if you want to remove a particular event? right? If you want to remove a particular event listener, so to say, right? So what we do for that is there is again different functions for it. My avatar dot off, right? This will allow you to remove a particular listeners, right? Okay. Before that, what we can do now, there is something called as once, right? Once. This functions allows you to trigger or allows you to emit an event, and that particular what if you use this once function, then the listener or the function that you attach for a particular event will be executed only once, right? Even if there are multiple times that particular event is executed or triggered. Okay, let's say that event is ABC, right? So whenever the ABC function is occurring, right? Sorry, whenever the ABC event is triggered, I want to execute this function, whatever the function I am passing right now, correct? I'll just say here once example, or I can say called only once, right? Okay. What we can do, we'll just comment this out for the time being, and I can say my emitter dot emit ABC. Okay. If I run the script right now, there won't be any much difference between one and once, right? We only see it is saying called only once, right? But however, if I call this or if I trigger this event multiple times, right? ABC, 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 multiple times we are triggering the code. What we can do now, or what we'll get the output now, is again only same, right? Called only once, because only once this particular event handler will get executed. However, if we change this to 3 times, okay, if we are emitting test three times, every time this event is emitted, no, that particular handler will be executed if you have used the on function, right? So what we are doing it on when we have used on function to attach our function, attach our listener, this particular thing is getting executed, right? So if I handle this, execute this particular script, you'll see handling test event, handling test event, handling test event 3 times. Why? Because we have emitted test event 3 times, and since we had attached handle test function using on function on the event test, that is why 3 times. However, when we used once, this particular handler function only executed 1 time, even though we are triggering ABC event multiple times. Okay, so this was the basic idea of how event emitter class works. Okay, now let's comment these two, and now we'll start something else, how to pass arguments to different callback functions, right? So let's say my emitter dot on, let's give the event name, let's say arguments, right? Or let's say even better, pass arguments. So my event name is pass arguments. This can be, again, remember, anything, right? It's user defined. So whatever you type in here will become an event, right? Okay. I'll create another function called, let's say, handle arguments, right? We'll just do console.log again. This time I'll say got data, and we'll be having some sort of a data here, right? So for now, what we'll do, we'll just register this particular event handler, which was handle arguments, right? So whenever this particular event is emitted or triggered, this function will execute. Okay, so let's just trigger that particular event for now. Emit pass arguments. Right. So if we execute now, we'll just see a message in console called got data, and then that's it. Right. However, what emit function also allows you to do is to pass different values or different data to the handler function. Right. So let's say after we do some calculation and we can pass, or we need to pass some data sort of. Right. So let's say let's say we pass in 44 some number, some text, let's say my name. Okay, let's pass another boolean. Okay, let's say that is true. Right, you can go on and on. Okay, how much ever you want, you can go on and on. So I am passing 3 particular data also to all the event handlers for this. Right, so what we can do now is I can say num here, num or whatever you want. Okay, this can be name, this can be some boolean. Fine. Now since we passed in 4 here in emit function, we passed in 4, we passed in my name, and we passed in true. Based on that, all the values will also get passed here. Okay, so I can say name, I can say again number, or I can say some boolean. Right, so whatever data you're passing in the emit function, right, through emit function, whatever data you're passing as the next set of parameters after the first parameter, of course, right, those entire data gets passed to all the event handling functions, in our case handle arguments. Okay, and the position value or the positional value is maintained. So if the first thing that you're passing is a number, then obviously the first part will be a number. Now inside this function, you can do whatever you want with that particular information. Correct? So let's execute this now. And there we go. We see got data, my name, which is this one coming from here, right? Then 44, then true, right? So this is how we pass arguments to the different handling functions. So if we had multiple functions attached to this particular event, all of them would have got this particular values. Okay. Next, we'll go to and see some practical or some sort of a demo basic example of how we can utilize the benefits of this event emitter class. Let's create a new file. Let's say that file name is, ticket manager.js. What we are planning here is we'll have some a class which will handle every time someone buys a ticket. Imagine that there is a fair or something like that, and whatever whenever there's a user or anyone who buys a particular buys a ticket, we'll be decrementing it from some value or something like that. Okay, just like a manager ki how much ticket we have initially, and as the user buys in, we decrement it accordingly. Okay, so first thing first, we'll import the class called event listener. Okay, sorry, event emitter. Require events. Okay, from events, we'll just get the event emitter class. Okay, now what we can do, we can define a class ticket manager, which is going to extend, which is going to extend this particular class event emitter. Okay. Now, whatever the functions were there in the event emitter class, that ticket manager class also has access to. since we are inheriting it from the event emitter class. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll just say a construct. We'll create a constructor here, which will be get called every time we create a new ticket manager instance, right? Okay. The first thing first, we need to call the super class ka constructor that we did here. Then I am planning, let's say we will have a variable here in this manager, instance variable called supply. Okay. So I can say this dot supply, right? This supply will be the initial number of tickets that we have for our event. Okay. That can be fair or anything. Let's say that the event name is, fair. We have a, let's say Disneyland car ticket. Okay, we are having our Disneyland. Okay, in that Disneyland, there is a specific amount of ticket to be bought by the different customers. Okay, now of course this supply I cannot have a hard coded value. So what I can do is just say supply here. Okay, so we'll be passing, or we can even rename this to be more specific. This dot supply, which will be going to equal to supply, right? So the constructor will get some value. That value will get assigned to the instance variable ka value. Okay, this is fine. Okay, now we'll have a function called by here. Remember, the way we define function inside a class is just by putting this particular thing, following this syntax. We don't put a function keyword here. Okay. Okay. So this by function will accept an email ID and some price. Okay. Every time by function will be called, I would just say this dot supply minus minus. So we'll just decrement from the supply. Okay. Then since we have inherited a lot of functions and functionalities from event emitter class, what I can do, I can say this dot emit, by event. Okay. Or if I say ticket bot. Okay. So the name of our event is ticket bot, or better, bot ticket. Okay. Whenever this particular event is going to be called, right? Whenever this by function will be called, I will decrement the value of our supply. Okay. And then we'll emit the bot ticket event. Okay. Okay. Let's create another file where we'll be calling all these things. Okay. So I can say const ticket manager is equal to require from the current directory ticket manager, right? Fine. What we'll do now, I'll say first we'll need to create an instance of it, right? So I'll say my manager. Okay, we can name it anything. New ticket manager. And then remember, we were having a constructor with a particular name, a particular argument, I mean, supply value, correct? So what we can do here, we be passing, let's say 10. So this 10 is our initial value, or the number of tickets that we have, okay, that we can sell. Fine. Okay. Let's say, we had some request response or whatever it is. And then what we do is we call the my manager dot by, right? This is the function name which we created, correct? So based on this function name, that particular function will be called which function? This by function, right? We'll be passing two values here, email ID and the price, correct? So what we can do now is pass in our, let's say, any value. Let's say the email ID is a.a@a.com, so to say. Fine. And then the price is, let's say 41 or whatever it is. Okay, this is the cost price of that particular ticket. So when we call this function, it'll reduce the supply value, right? It'll reduce the supply value. And what we also can do is we can return the number of supply after the supply has been deducted. So what we can do here is this dot supply. Okay, obviously in the real world production level code, you'll actually have a getter function for this value. Okay, fine. And we also need to export. Yes, we forgot that. So module dot exports is equal to ticket manager, right? Okay, fine. So let's say our, let's say remain tickets is equal to this. Fine. Let's run this code. Node.js, we need to run app.js. So it ran. Okay, we didn't console.log it, so we didn't see any output here. So what we'll do, we'll just say console.log. It's remaining. And then we'll pass in the value remaining tickets. Right? Run this and we get tickets remaining 9 because this function, when it was called, right, we had initial supply of 10. So initial supply of 10, it reduced this particular value, supply value, to or decremented one value from it, and then emitted this event and then returned the new value, which was 9. So that is why we get 9. Till now, we haven't actually made use of the event emitters that we can right now. We just have very basic by function, which we are just calling, right? Okay. What we can do now, which is where event class or event emitter class helps us, is we can attach an event, right? What I can say, my manager, right? My manager is the instant. Now this instance is an instance of ticket manager, which also inherits from the event emitter class, right? So this means all the functions which is available in the event emitter class is also available in ticket manager. So I can just say my manager dot on. Okay, what was the event name whenever the ticket was getting bought ticket, right? This is the event name. So in here, what I can say, I can attach an event listener. Okay, I can attach an event listener to that particular function, that particular event, right? Okay. So for now, I can just say it's an anonymous function. If I wanted to, this function could have also existed somewhere else. No issues in that, right? Okay. So whenever this particular event, okay, whenever this particular event is getting triggered, this particular function will execute. Okay. So I can say, let's say console.log someone BOUGHT bought a ticket. Okay. So we have attached the event listener. Okay. So now what we can do, we can just remove this. Okay. And let's just call my manager.buy multiple times. Okay. So let's say this was a.a.com. This was a@b.com. This is, let's say, C. This is D. Okay. So we have A, B, C, D. Or we can just have A, B here, C here, and D here. So four different person with different email ID. And then let's say, someone had different amount, someone used a coupon code or something like that. And based on that, the value is different. Okay. The price is different. So this can be, let's say 40, and this can be, let's say, 35 or whatever, right? Let this remain as is 41, right? So we have four people who are buying a particular ticket, right? 4 times. So if everything is correct, right? So the expected value is someone bought a ticket should be logged in 4 times. How? Because we have attached an event listener, right? So let me clear this up. Run node app.js, and there we go. Someone bought a ticket, right? So what is happening? What is happening exactly? Whenever we are calling the buy function, this function gets executed with those particular values, right? Whatever the email and whatever the value of that amount or the price of that ticket, right? And we are decrementing the supply value, correct? And then we are emitting it, right? The moment if I comment this particular part, we would see that no output is coming in here, because since this event is not emitted, that's why this particular function will not be called, right? This callback function will not be called, and there will be no output in our console.log. And there we go. We didn't have any output. Everything executed, meaning the buy function did get executed, but since we were not emitting the bought ticket event, that is why this was not called, right? So we can improve this, right? Whatever we have learned earlier, we can improve this. What we can do here is, since email and price is available here, right? Email and price will be available to us whenever the buy function is getting called. So what I can do, I can say bought ticket, whenever the bought ticket handler or the bought ticket event gets triggered, what I'll also pass in the email, the price, and what I'll also pass is the value of how much tickets we have, how much tickets we can sell more. Okay. Then what we can do here is access all these values here, right? 3 values coming in. So that means the first value will be the email, right? So I can say email ID. I can say cost, right? This cost will have the same value, whatever is getting passed from that function, buy function here, correct? So that is there. And then finally, remaining tickets, right? So that will have this value, this variable will have that particular value. So now I can actually improve this, and we can use a template string here. I can say email ID, whatever the value is there, bought a ticket for the cost, right? Remaining tickets is the value of this particular variable, right? So we defined one function here, and we just attach event listener for that particular event, right? So every time that buy function is going to be called, my code or this buy function will trigger the bought ticket event, right? Let's just run this particular code, and there we go. See, a.com bought a ticket for 41, remaining tickets 9, and then there was second person for 40, right? 8, 7, 6, right? Of course, in the production value, in the production code, what we can do is actually put this in a if block, right? Why? Because if there is more than, if the value has become, let's say the supply is 0 now, then we cannot buy more tickets, correct? So what we can just say, if this is the case, right? If the supply is greater than 0, then only buy the ticket, and consecutively then only trigger the bought ticket event. Otherwise, either I can do I can throw an error here, I can return a false value here, or I can also emit a error event also, right? That is all up to the use case. Fine. Okay. So this was very general example. So if I have to give you more examples, our file stream, right? Read file stream, which we looked in large file handling of Excel, right? That stream is also using event emitter behind the scenes. Similarly, the Express.js also uses event emitter behind the scenes. That is how whenever a particular request comes in, only that particular handler function is getting executed based on the route pattern, of course, right? So this is what event emitters are. Okay, I hope everything is clear. Now if you want to see more examples, you can just experiment upon it, because there are again different functions available, right? Prepend listener, raw listener will give you the number of listeners. Remove all listeners will remove all the listener function which is attached to any event, right? Remove listener will remove only that listener for that particular event, right? All these are, different functions which allow you to increase the functionality based on your use case, right? The most important one is the emit function and the on function and once function, depending on what use case you are dealing with, right? Listeners count will give you the number of listeners for that particular event, right? Whatever that event is. Fine. So this is what event emitters are used for. Okay. Thank you guys. I'll see you in the next video.